Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hope. My name is Tammy Lynn Connors. This is my YouTube channel and podcast, helping other people evolve. Tonight, you get me again. Super excited to share with all of you something that I've been working on for a couple weeks now, and it's just been heavy on my heart. And I hope that it's something that makes you look at things a little differently and maybe helps you to get through some things differently. And for many of you that have never been on Hope, welcome. I hope that you enjoy this. I hope you like it, you share it, you comment, do all the things. I just am sharing journeys of struggles to strength. I have 130 some episodes now just of stories of people that have went through struggles, but who are living life still and getting through with strength. Do we still struggle? Yes. But are we getting through? Yes. And we hope that some of the tools that we give you will help you get through your days. Today, I got a couple things sit on my lap. If you're watching this on YouTube, and it's like I said, it's been heavy on my heart to share these things. And what this is going to be about is I'm going to call it signs from our loved ones that are not with us anymore. Many of you know that I've lost a lot of people in my life. You know, I've lost my dad at a very young age. I've lost all my grandparents. My mom passed away in 2020. I've lost a lot of friends. And throughout those journeys, I've lost a baby. I've lost a bonus son. All these journeys and all these losses and all this grief that I go through, I have learned to pay attention to the signs. And for me, the signs are from my angels. I'm a big believer in God. My faith is in God 100%. I love Jesus. I love God. Many of you know that. He saved my life 20 and a half years ago when I got sober. And by the grace of him, I'm still here and I'm still sober. And so when I see these little signs, these God winks, I call them, they're reminders that our loved ones are around us. People say a cardinal came to their window or a butterfly flew by or all of these things. And we know that's not, my friend Josh is not the cardinal, right? He's not in the bird flying around. It's the signs that God sends, that God says, hey, your people are still with you. They're just not with you in the flesh. They're with me now. And they're still here and they're still with you. And please know that life is short, as we know. Some of you are lucky to know that it's not short. And we're a gift here. We're a gift here from God. And when God's ready to take us home, he takes us home. And that's an unfortunate thing that we have to live through and we have to deal with. And so this is going to be about the signs that we see from people. I decided to do this like a week and a half ago. And right after I decided to do it, a lady came into my work and she comes in and she always brings us gifts. She's super sweet and she always brings us little gifts in, right? Well, as many of you can see, my hair is kind of purple still. It's not as purple as it was, but it's washing out. But the month of October, I color my hair purple for domestic violence awareness. I am a domestic violence survivor, thank God in heaven above for that. My mom was a domestic violence survivor for my father. Thank God I got to spend more time with her because of that. And but unfortunately, my good friend Christy and many other people, not personally that I know, had not survived domestic violence. And in April of 2020, she was murdered by her ex-husband to be. He shot and killed her. It was horrible. And anyways, don't want to go into that too much. But the other day, my friend at work, she came in. Well, the lady came in, and she now, like I said, she didn't know my hair is purple. She didn't know anything about the domestic violence. I haven't seen her yet. She come in and she brings me this little purple wrapper. Like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. This little purple wrapper. And she's like, "Oh, here's your gift, Timmy." I was like, "Oh, okay, thank you." And so I'm looking at purple. I'm like, "Cool, my hair is purple right now." And I open it. Now, my friend Christy, when we talk about her and we think about the things that she reminds us, it's dragonflies, it's memories, the song Memories with Maroon 5, and it's also Shallow. So those are the three things that are like Christy reminders, and the color purple, which was her color anyways. She gives this to me, and if you're watching, you can see it's a dragonfly and a little what do I want to say, a little jewelry box that you can open up. But it was a dragonfly. And I was like, oh, that's a sign to me. That's a sign to me that like, hey, Christy's around all the time with you. There's the dragonfly. So that was that reminder that day. And as I went through that day, I thought, you know what? I'm going to ask people. I'm going to ask some people about the signs, if they get signs, right? So gotta love Facebook, because here's first off and foremost, I just want to tell you that has nothing to do with really the podcast or the signs, but Facebook likes to block things. Okay. They decide what they want to put out there and what they don't want to put out there. Sometimes I can put something on there and I have, I don't know, 200 likes. Sometimes I can put something out there and I have 1 like and 1 view, because I can look at my insights and what happens. So I put on there, hey, good morning. Just curious, going to do a podcast asking people if they see signs from their loved ones that have passed. Can you comment, please? It was on there. I'm not even kidding you, for 5 hours. I messaged my friend Cheryl and I said, hey, can you comment on my post? Maybe it'll push it up. Still didn't push it up. So I reworded it and I said, hold on, let me tell you what I said on it. I said, quick question. Does anyone get a sign from a loved one that has passed away? If so, can you share some of those? And bam, I think I had like, I don't know, it ended up, let me see what my insights are, just to let you know that they do this stuff to you. My insights, and 1,038 people viewed it, and 1,000, and engagement was 218, right? So it's just like, come on. So anyways, I'm going to share some of these things that people said to me. I'm not going to say their names because I didn't ask them permission to do that, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind because it is on social media. But my friend Cheryl, I'm going to share hers, and she said, I get signs all the time. Doves coming to visit, and then she put in parentheses, my grandparents. Feathers, different scents, numbers, and a feeling that they are close. All beautiful communications. And I was like, yeah. My other friend said, cardinals come and visit me in the tree outside my home office. They chirp loudly, so I know that they are there. My other friend said, my outside porch light flickers all the time. I went to a reader and she told me that's how my son lets me know he's around. When he first passed, we saw cardinals all the time. Songs he loved would come on the radio too. There's a lot he does to let us know he's here. I love it. In my dreams, smells, numbers, feelings of them being close. A few days after my dad died, I was 12. I felt like someone sitting on my bed one night and smelled his cologne. Recently, my mom's in Texas. I was doing dishes, looking out the window, and saw a red cardinal. In all the years that I've lived in Texas, I don't think I've ever saw a red cardinal. So I figured it was my dad just checking in on us since we were there visiting. These things to me are like, they're just soothing to my heart, just to know, like, yeah, maybe they're not, but that's what we feel like they are, right? Maybe there's just us, but if we're paying attention at the times that they happen, it's probably right when we need it. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more about something that happened to me a year ago. But my friend Eric said this. He said, we get birds, woodpeckers, cardinals, and hummingbirds. When we get all 3 sitting in the backyard, we call it a trifecta. And we know Connor is nearby, and that is their son that they lost a year ago. Let's see, after my mom passed, we have blue butterflies, cardinals for my grandparents, had a feather at my back door after I lost 2 uncles in 1 week. And I see a lot of hummingbirds too. Monarch butterflies. I only see them when I'm sitting on my deck, and I'm usually with my daughter. We think it's a visit from my mom. I get signs all the time. I ask for a coin. I have since found 14 quarters in 3 years, all in weird areas, and always when I need to know he's still there. Geo Tracker sent me to a hidden box next to his memorial one day. Too much to say, but physical things happening in the house. Back about a year after Eric passed, it continued every Friday at the time of his death. Phone would ring, not a full ring, 2 very short half rings back to back at the same time every Friday night. It stopped about a year later. Boy, how I miss those calls. A couple of days after my daddy passed away, I cried myself to sleep. I woke up because I felt someone's hand on my back. I was sleeping alone. I know it was my daddy telling me he was there with me and comforting me like he always did when I needed him the most. Yes, feathers from my dad. My son gets coins from him. My friend Casey, she likes to make my lights go on and off. Erica, I see numbers, my birthday, 11/24, all the time, everywhere. It's definitely my mama. I have dreams about the people I've lost. It makes me miss them. And I think that when we have dreams of them, it's hard because whew, those dreams you don't want to wake up from. You just want to hold them. But it's also just letting you know that they're there, right? Just the memory of them. Um, Driving home, this is my friend that just lost his dad not too long ago. Driving home for brunch with my mom and brother just now, and Goodness of God by CC Winans started playing on the radio. This was the song that my mom chose to play at my dad's celebration of life last year. Yes, just happened a couple of weeks ago, getting ready to go to bed, looked down to take my sleepers off. There was a greeting card face down, picked it up, was a birthday card from my mom from 2011. It had a bookmark with it, remembering the card. I kept it and had the bookmark in my book. Apparently, there were two bookmarks in this card. The card and the bookmark says that my mom would be with me always, and know how much she loves me, etc. Just what I needed. I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. Somebody else just said always. My friend Avanti, I'm sorry, Mrs. Hill. I'm just going to say her name like that. She says dimes, white feathers, cardinals, butterflies. Cardinals and the Santa Claus cat toy randomly showing up in places it shouldn't be. Owl dreams. If you believe in God, and me as a believer in God, the Bible tells us that does not happen, and they are not our loved ones, but evil spirits. Okay, I'm reading that one, and if that's what it says in the Bible, and I believe in God and I believe in the Bible, but I also I don't believe that they're evil spirits coming. I believe that those are signs that God is showing us that He is with us and they are with us. That's just my opinion. So, we get dimes from Jack all the time. This one was found last Sunday cleaning up after a football game. And I knew Jack personally, and that's really sweet. I dreamt with my loved ones that had passed. Maybe I passed too. It was so realistic. Everyone I knew that passed was there. It was bright white, assuming heaven. Everyone sitting in white chairs. And when I spotted my grandma, I could smell her perfume. I felt her as I hugged her. I woke up gasping for air and tears streaming down my face. Oh. When I first moved in my house, it's been about 4 years now, I was sitting out on the back porch taking in the morning, and I remember sitting there crying a little bit, saying, I wonder how he will ever know that I'm here, as the most beautiful cardinal flew right onto the back fence. Honestly, I had many signs over the years. Cardinals, butterflies seem to be my spirit guides and spirit animals, but that one was phenomenal, and there's no coincidence with that moment. And then my friend Angie that said about Jack showed me her little grandson found a dime at the Whitmer football game. Blue Jays, my friend Belinda said, my mom and I have conversations all the time. Monarchs are her sign. Dimes. I was in the Kmart parking lot, 4/16/85 at about 8 p.m. I felt a gloom come over me as if something bad had happened. Late the next morning, my aunt called crying, asking for my mother. Moments later, my mom was crying. My cousin had been murdered at about 8 p.m. on his 28th birthday, and the killer knew it was his birthday. To this day, the Philadelphia murder remains unsolved, and I'm assuming the police will not return my calls because I live in Toledo. I don't know about that part, but she had that gloomy feeling coming over, and I think sometimes we do have those feelings when something happens like that. So, so as I was thinking about doing this, right? I'm big on just things that happen, right? I believe in God. I believe faith. I believe that He shows us things. I believe that God 100% loves us so much that He doesn't want us to grieve and be so sad, and that these butterflies, rainbows, dimes, quarters, there's nothing like harmful about these things. They are just affirmations. So I have so many, but I want to share what happened the other day, and then I'm going to tell you a few more things that people told me. But I was at work, and I work in a restaurant. and I'm at work, and once a week I like to buy somebody's breakfast. I never know whose breakfast it's going to be. I'll be just working away, and just God lays it on my heart, buy theirs today. You know, it could be a $10 bill, it could be a $50 bill, whatever it is. I listen. God tells me, I do it. So I'm waiting on this table, and it was two little girls. One was 8, one was 9. They had on pink, one had on pink, and the other one had on purple. And she said, the one in purple, she said, "Oh my gosh, I love your hair. It's my favorite color." And I said, "Oh, well, thank you." And then I said to the sister, I said, "I'm guessing your favorite color is pink." And she's like, "Yeah." And then I showed her like my little DFT here, my patch. It was pink. I said, "Well, I got this on." So anyways, I'm talking to her, and I'm talking to her mom. And the mom had 2 butterfly clips in her hair. So you know, when we're talking about signs and stuff, butterflies are what reminds me of my mom. And I say that because I'm afraid of birds. So if anybody knows me, they know I'm afraid of birds. So I got this feeling like this is who you're buying this for. When my mom was passing, I was at hospice with her, and she was, gasping, and just I knew that the nurse told me, "She's not going to pass with you here. We're just going to blame it on COVID, and you have to leave," because it was during that time. She's like, "Your mom's just hanging on because she won't do that in front of you." So I left wholeheartedly, did not want to, but I believed what the nurse said, and she told me that she would stay right there with her. Well, right before I left, I whispered, I looked down at my mom's ear, and I told her I loved her so much. It was okay to go. I said, "Mom, do me a favor. People say they get signs from people all the time, and they're usually a cardinal. And as you know, I'm afraid of birds. So if you come to say, 'Hey, you're doing a great job, Tammy,' or 'Hey, I see, you,' or 'Hey, I'm just here with you through this journey, please be a butterfly.'" That's what I asked her. And we left the hospice, and we got home, and my sister and I walked out on the back porch, and um the lady called me, and she said, "I just want to let you know that she passed peacefully." And I held her hand. And right when she said that, here came a monarch butterfly flying by, and I just thought, she's at peace. So when I saw this mom with the earrings, or the hair things, and the butterflies, I said, "Well, God, that's what I'm buying the food for today." So at the end, I walked over to the table, and I explained to her. I said, I said, "Once a week, I just buy somebody's food. And today I decided to buy yours." I said, "I want to tell you part of the reason why. Your daughters are beautiful, and they're so sweet. And your butterfly hair clips just reminded me of my mom. And so I just want to bless you today." She was just like so grateful and so thankful. And I just told, I said, just pay it forward. And I told the girls, just always be kind. And so about an hour later at work, I'm working, and I'm standing at a table, and it's one of our regulars, and he's sitting at the booth on one side, and there's a couple sitting on the other side of the booth across from him. And I'm just standing there getting ready to take his order, and he's like, "Is today your birthday?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Are you sure it's not your birthday today?" And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure my birthday was last month. September 18th was my birthday." And the girl's kind of looking funny, and she's kind of nodding her head a little bit. And I'm like, "Is it her boyfriend's birthday? Like, is it his birthday?" Like that. And she's looking then behind me, and I'm like, "God, is it somebody in the kitchen's birthday and I don't know it's their birthday?" I know that our one cook's birthday's in December. And she said, and the girl finally says, "Turn around." So I turn around, and I'm going to show this on my YouTube channel. You probably can't see it because if you're not watching it there. But there's this big, beautiful bouquet of flowers with this thank you balloon in it. And these are beautiful. They're beautiful. And the 2 little girls were holding it. And they said, "We wanted to come back and tell you thank you so much for what you did for us today." And they also gave me, if you can't see this, butterfly hair clips, the same ones that the mom was wearing. They said, "We just want to thank you for what you did. You were so kind." I didn't, it's not why I do that. I do that because, well, for one thing, I do it because God tells me today you're buying their food. And I listen because, as I say, I'm a big believer. And But to see those butterflies and those sweet little girls, and as those girls left, I told them, they both were smiling. I said, girls, you are absolutely beautiful. And please, please don't ever let anybody tell you any different. So this was more affirmation that I was supposed to do this podcast. You know, it's, I read through these messages, right? And as I read through them, you heard one that disagreed with me, and that's okay. We're allowed to disagree. And like I said, I have my faith in God, and God and I talk all the time, and I believe that different times are different signs for me that I need to hear. And so I'm going to share a little bit more. I did a live video about these flowers, and some of my friends posted some more, and I'm going to read those to you real quick, and then I got something else to tell you about this. You know, my friend said little things are a blessing, and it makes us happy for the smaller things. Let me see here. I love all your messages. Thank you for sharing. I get so many signs, it sometimes overwhelms me, but in a good way. Believe and keep your eyes open, and you'll be blessed for sure. And I thought that was somebody I went to school with, and so she wants to go to lunch soon, which I think is so cool. Let's see. That might have been all that I had on that comment. I did get some messages from some people, also private messages. My one friend said she had a butterfly, and she thought, you know, like that was a sign from her dad, and she said turn around and come back here, and it flew back. I just want to share a couple more stories that I've had happen over the last few years, and especially since, you know, my friend Josh passed away, and my friend Christy passed away, and my mom passed away, and my bonus son Nicholas in 2012. And so the stories keep going, and they just keep going. So Nick, I'm going to talk a little bit about Nick here. So Nick, unfortunately, we lost him in a single car drinking and driving accident in February of 2012. Nick was 26, I'm pretty sure, if I'm getting that right. I know that I do the math, but it's right about that. Okay. Right around that age. And, so Chad, my son, he gets a lot of signs from Nick too. And Nick was, a very simple man. That was his song, Simple Man. He loved the Shine Down version. And, that song will come on randomly, right? Like, so Chad, my son, the one day when I dog sit, I put Google anti-anxiety music for dogs on, right? And so Siri plays it, or Alexa or whatever. And I guess Google's not Alexa, but whatever. So anyways, I like to be correct. And so anyways, he called me. He's like, what music did you put on? And I'm like, the same that I always put on. Why? And he's like, I walked in and Simple Man was playing. And I was like, oh, well, Nick was just letting you know that he was there. And he's like, yeah, and I needed that today. You know, and that's the thing. Like when you need it, it happens. And so, like I said, with Nick, it's Simple Man, and it'll happen. Let me tell you, it will happen. Nick is Simple Man. He likes to have lights flicker. That happens a lot. He loved the Lost Boys, so I think that's kind of why that happens. His sister and Chad could tell you all kinds of other signs, and his mom that they see, but I'm a big one on the Simple Man. It'll play like randomly when I need it. I was at a local bar visiting my friend Teresa. This has probably been about a year ago. We were just sitting there, and all of a sudden Simple Man came on, and I was like, oh, Nick's song. I'm not even going to kid you, and I only can say this because Teresa was right there with me. Right after that, Animal came on by Maroon 5, and that was one of my mom's favorite songs. She would sing it in her bedroom, and that came on. And then right after that came Maroon 5's Memories came on, and I was like, are you kidding me? I said, well, all I know is that if Toby Mac comes on right now, because that was my friend Josh's song, I'm walking out of this place, right? And so we were just kind of like cool that all three of those songs came on. I get out in my truck, and I promise you, I even took a picture of it and sent it to Teresa. Mac came on the radio. So Josh and I, Toby Mac is it's probably one of our favorites, right? So Corey Asbury and Toby Mac. So those are the things that happens with Josh. Like Toby Mac will come on the radio and I'll be thinking about Josh, and then bam, here comes a Toby Mac song. And when I was in Texas, back in January this year, Josh's mom always Cardinals visit her, and Florida, she had one visit and sit right there like the whole day. And so I was in Texas and I was talking about my podcast, and I had just read my mission statement to my friend Cheryl. And I'm like, I think this is what it's going to be. And I swear to you, as soon as I read it, this cardinal went, boom, almost hit my windshield. And I was like, well, I guess we're going to say that Josh just affirmed that. That's how I feel about these things. Last year I was competing in a female bikini bodybuilding competition. I went there by myself. I wasn't feeling very confident. I was having a bad hair day. It was raining outside. I have spray tanned. My hair was all white. I pulled it back in the night, but on the bottom layers got brownish. So it wasn't the color that I wanted it to be at. It wasn't my natural white color. I'm looking in the mirror. It's frizzy because it's raining. My tan's dripping, all kinds of things, right? I'm not feeling confident. I'm not feeling very pretty. And in 2019, I was on a boat with Christy, and we were out in the middle of the ocean, and there was a bunch of us out there. We're out in the middle of the ocean, and she pulls out her compact and she takes it and she's putting powder on her face. And I looked at her. Now, mind you, she was absolutely beautiful. I said, what are you doing? And she's like, well, my skin. And she's saying all this stuff. I'm like, Christy, for one thing, we're in the middle of the ocean on a boat with friends. Like, we do not need a compact with powder. But this was her low self-esteem on herself, right? She didn't feel like her skin looked good. So we had a conversation about it. So I was always telling her throughout, after that time, like, remember how beautiful you are. Your skin is beautiful. It looks better without that. Just building her up and reminding her to look in the mirror and how beautiful you are. And so as I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm trying to not cry because I got my makeup on and I'm looking and I'm not loving what I look like, I swear to you, Memories came on by Adam Levine on my Spotify. And right after that, Shallow came on. And I was like, okay, Christy, I get it. I told you how beautiful you are. You're telling me right now that that little bit of brown in your hair, the little bit of frizzy in your hair isn't who made you beautiful. And so that was like, I called Jolene, my friend Jolene in Arizona, and I was like, you're never going to believe what's happening. She's like, don't cry, because you're going to ruin your makeup. But so those are the things that I grasp and I hold on to. Maybe it's dumb. I don't know, but there's too many people out there that see these signs too. And maybe you believe that they're demons or devils or something. I don't know. I don't do controversy here. I don't do anything like that. I just share what my belief is. Whatever your belief is your belief. And I have my relationship with God, and you have your relationship with God. So I just want to say that, like, I believe 100% in God, and I believe 100% in Jesus, and my heart and soul belong to them. So those are just a few of the things. The dragonfly with Christy, my friend Jolene just has all kinds of dragonfly. Christy was her best friend. And there was a time we were in Vegas, and this was right after my mom passed away, and it was like the next weekend. And I had second thoughts about going to Vegas. Well, my friends just invited me, like my mom passed away, and like 2 days later. And I'm like, I don't know if I should go. And my son was like, Mom, what are you going to do here? You can't have a funeral because it's COVID right now. And just go. They just opened up Vegas. Just go have fun. Just go relax. And so I go, and I had to laugh because there was this bird that kept like following me, this pigeon. And I was like, that's my mom. Like, she's like, oh yeah, butterfly? No, I don't think so. I am going to stalk you as a bird. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so my friends had a little dispute about something, and it had involved Christy. And they were in the pool at Aria talking about it and talking it out and becoming friends again. And I love you, and I know life's short and all those things. And as they're talking and Jolene's got her phone like this, here comes this dragonfly and it sits right on her phone, like right there, like listening to the whole conversation. It stayed there the whole time. She was able to even take it and kiss that dragonfly. She got a picture of it. And it just sat there the whole time. And it was like, yeah, no, we know it wasn't Christy in the dragonfly body, but it was that sign that just said, what you're doing is good. I'm happy that you're doing this. I'm reminding you that I'm always here and I'm so happy to be here with you. And it's those stories and it's those feelings and whatever, maybe it's just comfort that we need. But I pay attention to these things. They happen to me a lot in my life, a lot. I see a lot of different signs. I see a lot of things that remind me of my loved ones that are gone. And I embrace them because I'm like, yes, I know you're here. I know you are here. Your spirit is here. I talked to my friend Jen today and I asked her if I could share this because she shared this with me not too long ago. And her sister had just graduated from Phoenix University of Phoenix or whatever it was online. But you go out to Phoenix to get your diploma and all of that graduation stuff. So Jen flew out there with her. And I remember her telling me this story. So today I re-asked her and I said, hey, do you care if I share this? And she's like, no, she's like, but I'm gonna tell you what, if my sister wouldn't have been there with me, I would have never, ever, ever told anyone about this. Because I used to think people were crazy when they said they saw signs of things like this. So anyways, her and her sister are in the mountain, her and her sister and her sister's husband, they're in the mountain hiking. She's got her earbuds in. And all of a sudden, her earbud says, incoming call from your dad. Her father passed away years ago, years ago, years ago. She said she looked at her phone. She's like, are you kidding me? And she kind of looked at it and she looked at her sister and was like, and her sister's like, what? So she hung it up. It called back again. She said, I would have never shared that with anybody. Incoming call from your dad. She only had one dad. She only had one dad's number stored in her phone. She said it was just, she's like, I was thinking as we were walking, like, my dad would be so proud of Missy right now. And there it came. That I'm so proud of you right now. There's been times when I've done things and I know that monarch butterfly, my mom's saying, so proud of you right now. I did a wedding a few weeks ago, a month ago now, probably longer than that now. But anyways, and I was getting ready to do the wedding, and my friends were the husband was standing there, and she was getting ready to come outside, and sure enough, here come this monarch butterfly that just sat right on the electrical line or cable line or whatever, and just sat right there, just looking down. I'm like, thanks, Mom. I know I'm making you proud. So the signs, I believe that they're there. Other people believe that they're there. I just think that they're healing to me. Maybe not. Maybe they're something that you don't pay attention to, and maybe you think it's voodoo. I don't know. I don't think it's voodoo. I think it happens. My sister's ex-fiance, he passed away. He leaves quarters. She finds quarters. His mom finds quarters. There's just different things that, and maybe it's silly. Maybe you see a quarter and somebody else saw a quarter and didn't think anything of it. Maybe you see a quarter and you think, thanks, pennies from heaven. You ever heard of it? I have. Rainbows, beautiful, right? Sometimes maybe it's God reminding us of his promise, those rainbows, those butterflies. Unicorns, you might be a little bit out there. I'm just kidding. I just feel like I just wanted to talk about the signs. I just feel like people don't pay attention to them as much as they probably should. And just know that, yeah, grief sucks. It's hard. It's hard to get through your days sometimes. And you will have reminders of things that will pop up that will remind you of that loved one. And yeah, you might cry. And yeah, you might have a bad day. And it's okay. It's okay to cry still. It's okay to have a bad day still, but try not to stay in those bad days. And I think when I have those memories and I see those things that remind me of them, that's just the blessing that I have to have that memory of them. And sometimes maybe it is a car that drives up next to you. Maybe it is a flower that reminds you of them. Maybe something falls and you're like, oh, yeah, that reminds me of my mom. Or yeah, that reminds me of my brother or my sister or my grandma or my grandpa. Or they used to sing that song to me. You know, mine's a big one with songs. Songs come on. I know another thing that happened to me once, and I want to share this and I'll probably be done because I could probably go on for days with all the things that happened to me. But I was running my first 5K back in January of 2021, I believe it was. It had to have been 21, yeah. And it was on January 1st, and I told myself I was going to run it. I don't like running. I didn't even ever run a 5K, so I don't even know what I was doing, but I was going to do it. I knew it was 3.1 miles or whatever. So I was going to run it at one of our parks here. And I got to work that day and I was running it after work, and it was January 1st in Ohio. Think of that. And it was raining and it was sleeting and it was icy and it was gross. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it. And I thought, now, damn it, Tammy, you told yourself you're going to do it. You've been talking about it. Get out there and do it. Just try. If you don't finish, you don't finish. At least you tried, right? So I go buy myself a coat that I can wear with a hood and stuff. And I'm running through Wildwood Park and I'm running and it's kind of muddy, but it's kind of icy too. And all I can think about, I'm running, listening to music in my earbuds. And all I can think about is my mom going, I can't believe you're doing this. You're probably going to twist your ankle. That would be what my mom would say. I promise you, I got to almost the end of my race or my run, and I heard Righteous Brothers Unchained Melody come on. I'm like, what? I don't have this on my playlist. It's on my mom's playlist from when she passed away, when I had it at her celebration of life. I don't have it on mine. And I'm running and I'm like, I can't run to this slow song. And so I turn it off, right? And I flick on the rest of my music. I'm like, I don't even know where that came from. It's still not on my playlist. It still was not on my playlist. So I'm almost at the very end. I only have like 0.10 to go, and I'm running, I'm sweating, and I'm like cold, and I'm wet, and I'm sweating, and I'm bleh. And that song comes on again. And I'm like, I don't think it was Unchained Melody. I'm sorry, I'd be wrong. Bridge Over Troubled Waters is what it was. Which is a really slow song, you guys, if you know it. It's like a bridge over troubled waters. Don't mind my singing. But anyways, and so I'm like, really? It's going to pop on again? I already got rid of this once. And I thought, you know what? This is your sign from your mom saying, good job. Finish this at 0.10. Oh, you got this. But listen to this song as you finish. And I did. And so it's just those things, man. I'm telling you, to me, they mean the world. I try to hold on to those memories. You know, I lost my baby that was 6.5 months old. I don't have a lot of memories of him, unfortunately. I have a few pictures. I just have what I can remember in my head, which was 32 years ago. And I wish I had more that I could remember him by. I have his pajamas that I smell that still smell like him. I keep them in a bag, so they just still have his smell, which is probably not his smell, but I still feel like it is. And that's all I have of him. And so I hold on to the other things, the Toby Mac songs, the Memories song, the Shallow song. Me and Christy's girls, we were in Vegas. We had the top off the Jeep, and Shallow came on, and we all cranked it up and just sang it so loud. And that's the things that I hold on to. Those are the memories. Those are the things that I believe in. I believe in the signs. I believe I'll be walking and a feather randomly falls in front of me. And especially if it's a white feather and there's no birds around that are white, let me tell you. You know, I'm not by an ocean or a beach where there's seagulls. So just my take on the signs, just some other people's feedback from signs from other people, you know. I love the signs. I love people chiming in and telling us the signs that they see. Oh, I know. If you listen to my last podcast from Brady, if you listen to my last podcast from Brady, we were in the middle of doing the podcast. Nobody said, Alexa, turn on. Nobody said anything. It was just her and I. She was at her house. I was at my house. Nothing of those terms came on. And she said to me, did you hear that? And I was like, no. She said, my Alexa just came on. And I was like, oh. So she got up and she walked and she moved to another room because it was playing music, right? So at the end of the conversation, if you listen to it, we were talking about Jack, her son, and that Alexa coming on? She's like, yeah, that came on. And I said, well, what song was it playing? And she said, it was playing a rap music song. I said, do you listen to rap music? And she's like, nope, but Jack did. Nope, but Jack did. You know, our loved ones are close. Our loved ones are near. We're all going through things. And maybe it is just silliness that we believe that these are signs from them. Maybe it's just our way of feeling closer to them, knowing that they're there. Maybe, just maybe, it's just God showing us signs that they're always with us. They'll always be with us. I've been carried through a lot in my life, and God's carried me through it all. And I know that He loves me so much. And I know He sees the hurt that we go through. And I know He doesn't want us to hurt. And I know He wants us to have faith in Him and love Him. And I believe that He wants us to know that He has our loved ones and that He will show us little signs that they're okay and that we're going to be okay. So thank you for tuning into Hope today. My name is Tammy Lynn Connors. I am blessed. I am grateful. I am thankful to be able to be on here and share some insights on life, on my life, on other people's lives. I'm grateful to be able to show you that we have struggles and we get to strengths and we can get through almost anything. I think we can get through anything. I've been through it. That's why I can sit here and tell you that I believe we can get through anything. I listened to a podcast today. Shout out to Jelly Roll and Jay Shetty. It was a great podcast. If you get a chance to listen to it after you listen to mine, tune into it. It's so good. One day I'll have Jelly Roll on my podcast. That's my goal and my vision. Have some people like that on there so they can share their stories of hope. Have an amazing night. Thank you. I'm on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, YouTube channel. Tune in, share. I need more subscribers. Honestly, I love seeing people listening, and my YouTube channel doesn't grow, and I think it's my own fault because I don't grow it, but it's just out there, and please share. Somebody might need to hear this today, or somebody might need to hear somebody else's story. I appreciate all of you. I love doing this. It brings joy to my heart to share with all of you. And I hope you all have an amazing, fantastic day, night, afternoon, whatever time of the day it is. I love y'all. Take care.